Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Hello there.
Good evening.
Good evening. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to watch a movie.
You always mostly are, aren't you?
This is the time. Popcorn's ready. The screen is up. Let's do this.
I mean, we're entering a new phase of the year.
Is that a clue?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is it a summer movie? What are we watching? Tell me.
You don't know what we're watching?
No, I do not know what we're watching.
It is a summer film.
Okay. Is it Jaws?
Da-da.
Yes!
Da-da.
Yes!
Da-da.
Oh my goodness, we're finally watching Jaws. Peter Benchley's book, Jaws.
That's exactly how everyone knows it. Absolutely.
That's right.
I thought you were going to say directed by Peter Benchley, and I was just going to, yeah. Have you read the book?
I think so. I've read a couple of Peter Benchley's books.
Okay.
And I think I read Jaws. Yes, I have read Jaws.
Okay. So you know what this movie's about.
I absolutely know what the movie's about. So it'll be interesting to see if it closely follows the book for me.
It will be. Just for clarity's sake, what's the book about?
The book is about a huge shark that's terrorizing this little town in Florida. Beach town in Florida.
Does it grow legs and like goes into the town and terrorizes them?
No. Okay. Yeah. He wrote we can talk about it later, but that was kind of like his setting.
I just wanted to make sure.
Like the ocean.
I mean, I'm neither confirming nor denying that Jaws is a movie about a shark that terrorizes a small town. I am not confirming or denying that. I just wanted to see what you thought the movie was going to be about.
Yeah, I know what Jaws is about. Yeah. And I actually think I've seen clips of it because
you were alive in the 20th century.
They used to play it on Sunday nights.
Oh.
And so, after church, we would come home. And I think my older brother and sister turned on the TV once. And it was playing. And Mom and Dad were like, oh, turn it off, time for bed.
Sorry. I'm just amazed. I'm just I'm laughing to myself because I'm thinking about a human who was alive in the 80s through now, not having seen any clips of Jaws and living in the United States of America. That would just blow my mind.
Haven't we been on the Universal Studio Jaws ride?
I don't know if I went to Universal Studios with you. So I have been when I went. But
I went on it.
Well, then, okay. So it's about a giant gorilla that attacks, right?
No,
okay,
it's a shark. It's a great white.
Okay, well let's go check it out.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay?
I was just going to say
what?
One of my favorite stupid things about this movie that I'm excited to see is that they have something called chum that they ladle over the side of the boats.
They sure do, yeah.
And my mom always used to say, I used to chum around with my friends, and my brother and I would look at each other and pretend to ladle chum over the side of a boat.
Oh, that's delightful.
I cannot wait to watch this movie.
Wow. So I'm going to picture now, you know how you usually describe a movie poster? I'm just going to picture your mother in water, chumming things into the water.
Chumming around with my friends.
Yes. Wow. Okay, let's go check it out.
Okay.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws. This is Universal's extraordinary motion picture version of Peter Benchley's best-selling novel, Jaws.
I just found out that a girl got killed here last week. And you knew it. You knew there was a shark out there. You knew it was dangerous. But you let people go swimming anyway.
You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Is it true that most people get attacked by sharks in 3 feet of water, about 10 feet from the beach? Yeah.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark.
Bad fish. But I'll catch him and kill him.
Did you hear your father? Out of the water now!
This shark, swallow you whole. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons of them.
Hurry up, he's coming straight for us. Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. Now! Shoot!
None of man's fantasies of evil can compare with the reality of Jaws. Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Jaws. See it before you go swimming.
Little Spanish ladies. I have been singing sailor songs in my head. I always, every time after watching this movie for like 2 or 3 days, I'll just be singing different sailor songs. So just be prepared.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you for the warning. Hi.
Are you all right? You look stunned like there's a shark in the water.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
You're happy?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to watch it. I've wanted to watch that since I was a kid, coming home, and it was on the TV that one time, like I said. And the parents turned it off. I've always wanted to see this movie, and I finally saw it, and it was awesome. It did not disappoint. Yeah.
How do you feel like life achieved? How are you feeling right now in this moment?
That was so awesome. It was so good. It was a thriller. It was like a horror movie.
Oh yeah.
But the kind of horror movie I can handle. Richard Dreyfuss was so amazing.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I mean, pretty much everybody in the movie is fantastic except no, even the 4-year-old's fantastic too.
Yeah.
Little boy, yeah.
Everyone in the movie looks so normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 70s movie. You can tell. There's just normal people.
Totally.
It's great. And the sailor that you were singing the song that he sang, you can hardly understand him.
Yes.
For some reason, he reminded me of Norm Macdonald.
No, well, that's because Norm Macdonald, he talked to his lower jaw, didn't move. It was just his upper lip moved. And Quint, Robert Shaw, is the same way. He was like, arr. He's just got a pirate scowl a lot of the time, I think.
You know, this is what I think it is. I think because he was so committed to the role that, like, fishermen, don't they have to usually have a line in their teeth, or like a cigarette, or they've got something in their mouth that they're holding on to and talking at the same time.
Yes.
It's commitment.
When I saw your finger going toward your mouth there, I thought you were going to do like the Popeye corncob pipe reference. And, just something in your mouth. So you have to talk out the side.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it was more like, a fishing, like a hook that he's trying to tie up.
I'm pretty sure he was either smoking or there were toothpicks or something. He was definitely, he was definitely dealing with that situation.
This was a great movie. Thank you, Spielberg.
You look stunned right now. The look on your face as you're thinking about the film.
Like, I waited my whole life.
Your whole life.
My whole life until now to see it, and I finally saw it. Achievement unlocked.
I'm pretty sure you weren't this excited on our wedding day.
It's different.
Oh, I feel like I'm in middle school again. Wow. You are not alone. One of my dear friends, she went to school for marine biology because this is her favorite film. And she wanted to swim with sharks, and she got to. And this was like, this movie, man. This was it.
I hope her cage was better than the one Richard Dreyfuss had.
Oh, she would go without the cage. But she wasn't dealing with Bruce, though. That was the nickname of the shark.
That was, okay, I was going to ask. Bruce. Okay.
Also, to get your nerd references going too, Finding Nemo, when you remember when Nemo's dad, there's the sharks and fish are friends, not food.
Yeah.
The big white shark, his name was Bruce in that movie.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we've just blown past. What's this movie about? Sorry. It's a quick summary of the film.
Okay, so it's not in Florida like I thought.
It's not in Florida.
Oh man,
completely
that's a big
changes
faux
the plot.
Is it a small New England town?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the cop's from New York. New York. This guy's from Hartford.
Yeah.
That's my horrible New England accent.
That was really
Hartford.
There it is.
Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, I'm not. That's not my thing.
Okay, so can I tell you?
Please. Sorry,
summary?
I get excited.
We all know the summary. Now I know.
We know this.
The small town on the coast of New England.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about summer. 4th of July is coming up, and a huge great white shark starts picking off swimmers. And the mayor doesn't want to close the beaches because this is like the time they make their money. This is a tourist town.
Yep.
And but the cop who's new in town, I think.
Sheriff. It's a new sheriff in town.
Who just moved in.
Mm-hmm.
He is like, no, we have to shut the beaches down. So there's a little tension there. And finally they're like, we just need to go out and hunt the shark. And so it's the sheriff and a scientist, Richard Dreyfuss, and a wizened old fisherman with lots of experience. They go out on his boat and they hunt the shark.
They sure do.
And only Steven Spielberg can make fishing exciting. Fishing is usually like one of the most boring things. Like, we just took our kids fishing.
We literally did, yes.
And we had a good time.
Yes.
But they definitely were bored.
They were definitely bored.
A large part of it, even though it was exciting and we caught a lot of fish.
I mean, true. We did catch a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason that I think on boats like that, you saw Quint and he was like drinking. So like just drinking on a boat, you just sit there and pass the time, and that's the entertaining part, I think, when you're fishing as a grizzled old veteran. But yeah.
Well, I mean, that the movie took something that is normally pretty boring,
right,
and made it like a horror movie, like total like suspense and like action, and the camera angles he used. Like, sometimes you're looking up at the mast, sometimes you're looking down, sometimes you just see the feet like slipping off the edge.
Oh, the tension in that.
Yeah, and then you see the water coming up. Just like I'm just amazed. Like, that took a lot of technical skill to like make that exciting.
Yeah, Spielberg is Spielberg, so he's I was just thinking, like, when you said he took something boring like fishing, I was like, oh, man, what should we challenge Spielberg with? Should he make a movie about, I don't know, the first thing that popped in my head was golf. But Happy Gilmore already made it an exciting golf movie. So
that's true.
But I just gut checked myself, too, because I remember The Legend of Bagger Vance. And
What's that?
It's not a Spielberg film. Have you not seen that one?
No.
Okay.
Never you just mind. Said a title of a movie?
I said a title of a movie, yes.
Okay.
Anyway, Spielberg can make anything exciting. I agree. He can. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was your favorite part of this film, or parts? Because I know what mine are. Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, when they're bonding in the boat,
yeah,
and they're the three men, Richard Dreyfuss, the captain, and the police, the sheriff, they're drinking, they're sharing stories of their scars.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so real. It's so natural, and especially Richard Dreyfuss. All of his acting in this movie is just like completely natural. You just don't even feel like he's acting at all. But I really enjoyed that scene. It made us laugh. Like it's funny. It's like this huge tension break.
Yeah. Is that in the book? I haven't read the book. You've read the book.
It's funny. I remember the beginning of the book so clearly, which is different from the movie beginning. Right. There's still the girl who runs into the ocean. And I remember all of that really clearly, but I don't remember if that part's in the book. I'm sorry, like my memory kind of fades. Maybe
did you like fall asleep during the last half of the book?
I think I did.
Yeah. Okay. That scene in particular, like that one-upmanship that they have, is like so classic and has been like, it's an homage. People do a lot of scenes that like mimic it and do an homage to it. It's just such a fun scene. But the crazy part is it's such a disarming scene. You are so disarmed. Like they've just gone through this intense day. They're hanging out. It's nighttime. They're just chilling. Yeah. They're starting to get a little tipsy. The boat's rocking a bit and they're telling these stories. They're bonding. They're singing. And then it just takes a nosedive and twists into like that super intense story that Quint tells.
Yes.
And you're just like, the tension just keeps ramping up just from his story.
Yeah.
And then it's just, the whole flow of that scene is amazing. It's wonderful. And then Jaws, boom, starts
knocking on the door.
He starts knocking on the door. Yep, sure does.
Oh, yeah.
25-footer.
I've always heard people talk about like the genius of Jaws not being shown, and I got to experience it, and it's true. Like the fact that you don't see him, Bruce, until the very end, like you just keep seeing a little bit more. You get a sense of the size finally, and then it's shocking, like how big Bruce is. Oh my gosh, it's so effective. I know it's already been done and said, but I finally got to see it.
You got to experience it too. Like, yeah, it really is. And literally, I don't know how many, probably a couple generations at this point, like just learned from that too. Like that happy accident, like they were just literally having problems with the shark. Like it couldn't do the things they wanted it to do. And there were just notoriously problems with the shark. And so it was out of necessity that they did a lot of those shots. And so Spielberg just kind of dealt with what he had. And then you see what resulted. And then that in turn, I mean, Hitchcock did a lot too with not showing things and building suspense. But it really and Jaws was like the first blockbuster film too. It was the first summer blockbuster film.
Oh, cool.
That just hit that level of everybody saw it and it made so much money. It was crazy. No one thought it could make that much money kind of stuff.
1975.
It started the summer blockbusters.
I always kind of lumped Jaws in with movies from the 80s, but no, I was wrong.
It kicked it off. And then, 75, a couple years later, then Star Wars came out. And then it just started this cycle of having these big summer blockbuster films.
I also really liked the first time that the sheriff is on the beach after the woman is eaten. And he's just watching kids go into the water. A dog goes into the water. And you're like, someone's going to get it. And you're like, who is it going to be? And I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's not going to be the kid. No way. It's not going to be the kid. But then it was the kid. Because this is a horror movie.
It was the dog too. They both were gone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is it going to be the dog or the kid? Or the dog or the kid?
Well,
both.
there was also like a couple that was playing, and then like other people went in. Yeah. So that was really good tension.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I really liked his wife. and their whole vibe, the sheriff and his wife.
Right. Is that just what you picture? Oh, sorry. Then what?
Oh, and then also like I'm just gushing about other things I liked.
That's okay.
The guy, Quint, you call him?
Quint. That's the character, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They hire to hunt the shark.
Yeah.
When they go into his place, it's like, oh my gosh, it's covered with shark jaws. Like,
yeah.
Jaws. Just hanging all around. And he's like actively like boiling bones of these things that he's caught. These sharks he's caught.
He's an interesting cat.
Well, you kind of find out why.
Right.
That whole monologue he gave, I couldn't help but thinking, like, is this just a Spielberg thing? Because, like, in Gremlins, that girl had that long, crazy monologue.
Yeah.
And I recently read about that. I think I sent you the trivia.
Okay.
That actually Spielberg wanted to take that out of Gremlins, but the director wanted to keep it in.
Okay.
But anyway, I was just wondering, is this just like a part of...
Yeah.
I don't know. It worked better in this movie.
Oh, well, don't make me defend Gremlins. Like, that's one of the scariest parts of Gremlins is that monologue.
Yeah,
like,
true.
That's a horrifying monologue.
Yes, it is. Both of them are horrifying.
Yes, absolutely.
And the one in Jaws is absolutely terrible.
Well, Jaws is more intense. Like, it fits the tone of the movie more than Gremlins. It feels like it comes out of left field. You're like, I thought we were having fun. But we're not.
That's my argument against the one in Gremlins. Right, because it does kind of not seem to fit.
That is just so 80s, though. That right there is so 80s. You're like, oh, you think you're having a good time? You think everything's light? Nukes. Oh, you think everything's fine? Horrible thing. Life. Anyway, hashtag 80s. Yeah, Robert Shaw, who played Quint, and Richard Dreyfuss, they actually argued a lot when they were making this film, like in real life. Like, they argued.
Really?
Yeah. They had really good tension, which totally translated into, like, the film and their relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. It was natural.
It was totally natural. And you know how I said it was the big blockbuster? Like, 67 million people went and saw it in the U.S.
Wow.
Which, you know, I don't remember what the population was back in the 70s, but that's got to be at least a third of the country. But anyway, my math could be off. Numbers nerd. Can't help it sometimes. Anyway, I interrupted your train of thought, which is normal for me, but I wanted to make sure there wasn't other stuff you wanted to... You were super psyched to talk about the book, if I recall. Is there anything else from the book you wanted to chat about? That you can remember, obviously.
Yeah, no, the description of like the woman with her leg, you know, when the shark gets her. Oh my gosh, it's just so good in the book. But I don't remember the rest of the book. So I'm going to check it out in the library and read it again. I also read The Deep, which was by him. I read that more times.
Have you seen that movie?
That's a movie?
Maybe.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh.
Like they were going to make a movie out of a book by a dude, an author, and then it makes so much money and they're not going to like, oh, what's your other book?
Oh, well, I'm going to reread both of them.
I think you should. You mentioned the girl too. Another fun fact about that is like there's the scene where they have her arm on the beach, you know?
Yeah.
They had like an animatronic arm and Spielberg like did not like it.
Oh.
So they instead just got a crew member, a woman, and they just buried her in the sand.
Oh,
and just used a real arm.
That's real. It's effective.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I forgot. This was originally supposed to air at Christmas, the movie.
What?
Yes. But it like went way over on the shooting schedule, so it was pushed back to the summer.
Which makes so much more sense. Airing it during Christmas it doesn't make sense.
The reason they did that is because back in like the 70s, summer was like when you just released movies you don't care about. That's where they just dumped movies because they're like, people are going to want to be outside. So why would they want to go into a movie theater?
Oh.
So like, it's kind of where films were like, oh, this one's not going to do good.
Back when people were healthier.
Yeah.
And now we're like,
you do see the 70s.
It's nice out. Let's go watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's too hot. Let's get in the AC.
Right.
Anywho. Yeah. Sorry. I'm thinking of all these random things about the movie.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Spielberg, when he read the book, and I'm interested if you remember thinking this too. When he read the book, he found himself rooting for the shark. Just because the humans were so unlikable. So he was like rooting for the shark to win.
I'll let you know if I feel that way when I read it again.
All right. I was curious if that would jog your memory.
That's funny.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be the most ridiculous question just given this, but how would you rate this film?
Must see.
Must see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. I agree. I haven't seen it in, I want to say it'd been about 8 years since I'd seen it. 7 or 8 years. And oh my goodness. Holds up so well on repeat viewings too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also gets you in the mood to sing sailor songs.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
A little pirate rock never hurt anyone.
Oh my goodness. You and your pirate rock. I don't even, you know what's so confusing about you and your pirate rock too?
What?
If I recall correctly, you don't like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Have you even seen them?
No, I haven't seen them.
But you don't like them on principle, right? Or am I just way off base here?
Yeah, I'm just the previews never looked interesting to me.
Okay. I kind of feel like I have to show you the first one just to see what
could change my mind. I've been wrong before.
There has been a lot of like preconceived notions about films so far.
Right.
So maybe when we need a little break from the 80s, we'll delve into the 90s, or I think, no, that was 2000s.
I'll never need a break from the 80s, Nick.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Or the 70s too.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would change about this film?
At the end, Quint, his untimely death, or maybe it is timely.
Spoilers, but yes. Mm-hmm.
It's so appropriate with the story.
Oh.
It's like heartbreaking, but it also it does make sense.
By story, you mean the story that he's told?
Yeah, his monologue of sharing.
Yeah.
This is what I would change about the movie, and this is like a 70s thing. And I'm noticing it a lot. Sure. It's the abrupt ending. Like all of a sudden, boop, the curtain falls. And so I would have kind of just stretched it out a little bit more and had them. It ends with Richard Dreyfuss and the sheriff using 2 barrels from the boat.
Yep. Which
when we were watching it, I was like, I would just get that barrel and take that back into town. That's your ride back in. Because the boat sinks.
Right.
Anyway, it just shows them paddling back in, and then boom, the movie's over.
There's a wide shot, but
there's a wide shot. It pans over the beach, but that's it. And I kind of want a little more resolution. I don't know. Maybe I'm a product of the movies of our time, because I feel like if the movie were made now, it would have gone. There would have been more. There would have been him seeing his wife and kids again, or announcing the beach is back open or something.
If it was made now, it probably would have been they got back and then it cuts to them in a scene in a bar and they're finally relaxed. Mm-hmm. And then one more gotcha comes after you or something. Yeah. That probably would have happened if it was now.
I don't want another gotcha. Because they blew the shark up.
Yeah.
Which I also was kind of wanting.
That could be the gotcha.
I wanted the shark to be hung up in town or something.
Oh, okay.
On the dock or something, so you could see how big it was.
That's just your fascination with large marine animals, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so scary. It just makes my tummy do flip-flops.
Yeah, all those blue whale footage of people kayaking by them. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It's Roy Scheider, by the way. That's the sheriff's actor.
Oh, thank you.
Sequest. He was in Sequest, which was the nerdiest thing in the 90s to be the guy from Jaws is doing a submarine future show. Oh, brain melt.
Was Sequest animated?
Have you not seen Sequest?
I don't think I've seen Sequest.
You've never seen Sequest?
Is it a TV show?
Yes.
In the 90s?
Yes. My voice is getting high. I'm going low again. Yes.
I don't think I watched TV in the 90s.
Wow. You would actually really like it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's set in the future. And
I like it already.
I know. It's set in the future. And it's about, the world has not explored the oceans. So there's these huge fleets of like submarines and there's water. Like basically like think about how you colonize in the sci-fi. A lot of times they colonize planets.
Yeah.
This is colonizing the ocean.
Cool.
Yeah. It was a good show. It was good.
Filing that away for future.
File it away if you can find it.
Would you change anything about Jaws?
Sorry, I'm laughing because I razzed the faces that Roy makes with his little 4-year-old where they struck me really funny. Just the way they were doing. I wouldn't change that though. I think it's great. It's very it really grounds you in the 70s. That whole interaction.
Yeah.
Same with the parents being like they're sitting there like talking about flirting and hanging out and they're like starting to have drinks and they're like, oh yeah, where are the kids?
And the kids are playing
on the dock. There's like a 4-year-old on it's like a 7-foot high dock. And then the 8-year-old or whatever, 9-year-old, not whatever it is, he's in a boat, like in the water. Yeah. Just so 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would I change though? I don't think I would change anything. No, I would have given the bicycle guy a better line.
The bicycle guy.
Yeah.
Who's the bicycle guy?
When the sheriff's walking into town and he's going into town to get the supplies to make the signs.
Yep, to close the beaches.
There's this guy who's got to be in his 80s. And he walks out and he has a bicycle tire. And he's like telling the sheriff something. And I didn't really hear it. And I was really wondering what his story was like. What's going on? Did someone steal it? Does he have a whole bunch of flat tires and he's not going to have business for the big 4th of July weekend?
I thought it was the sheriff's dad.
Yeah. No, he's a business owner and he's obviously in some sort of distress. I really want to know what his story is. That's what I change. Spin-off.
Right. There you go.
Gonna make a spin-off series.
Oh, this was great.
Hank the bicycle shop owner.
I wish every week could be like Jaws week.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So what messages do you think, if any, were in this film?
I can't say don't go skinny dipping because that was just the first victim.
True.
Everyone else had their clothes on.
True.
I think there's something about the struggle like between man and nature. And especially like trying to like live with creatures and we're taking up their space and just assuming that they'll like move away or do what we want them to do, but really we're sharing this space with them. So we have to be thoughtful and observant. And like the sheriff, he spent some time studying about sharks, like
with books.
Yes.
He couldn't Google.
He was researching them and reading about them and learning about them. So I think there's something to be said about like us like struggling against nature versus working with it. And I'm gonna end it there. What about you? Is there a message here for you?
Yeah.
What?
Safety's an illusion.
Oh.
Like you see that through the sheriff. He like they don't talk about it, but when they're having the comparison scene and they're all when the two guys are talking about their scars and stuff, the sheriff doesn't say anything, but you see him lift up his shirt and you see a bullet hole like scar in his stomach. And he moved from the city. He lived in New York. He was a New York cop.
Yeah.
Because it was like your kids can't be safe. They can't walk around. And, it's the classic tale of you leave the violent place to this idyllic place and you're still not safe. Yeah.
Interesting. Also, gosh, like the threat is coming from under the water. You cannot see it. And even when they had it kind of visible, they had the barrels connected to the shark and so you could see where it was moving a little bit. It still didn't really help.
I love the 70s technology too that Richard Dreyfuss has, just his different gadgets he has as the oceanographer. That's really cool.
Yeah.
If you could have any technology from now to fight Jaws, what would you want to like bring with you on a Jaws hunt?
Oh gosh. I'm going to say sonar. so then you can see.
I think they had sonar back then. They just didn't have it on the ship. But that's a good one.
What about you?
I mean, I'd probably just bring an elephant gun and just shoot him in the head or something.
There you go.
End it real quick. Any parting thoughts before we sail off into the sunset?
Well, now that it's summer, I'm still going to go swimming.
Good luck.
But I love that we get to swim in fresh water.
That is wonderful. The I wanted to say this and I forgot.
Okay.
The line, "We're going to need a bigger boat."
Yeah.
That was not in the script. He just
Really?
ad-libbed that.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't just ad-lib it once. He said it like a couple times.
Yeah. I just, there's so many quotable parts about this movie. It's such a fun movie. It's so fun to quote too.
I've heard that line so much in my life. I knew it was from Jaws, but it was so great just finally seeing it in context. I was like, that's the line. That's the line.
Yeah. Do you think things would have gone better for them if they had a bigger boat?
Oh, no.
No. Okay. Good.
Okay.
I'm just curious to see if bigger boats make a difference. That's all. If you think that they make a difference.
You know the look that was on his face when he was just like shocked
when he backed into it.
Yeah. He couldn't like. That's how I felt one time when you and I were in a library in Africa and there was a mouse that went across the floor and it didn't leave. It was just there. And I felt that way.
It's probably still there. All right. Well, that's tangible fear. And I hope I protected you sufficiently from that fear while we were in that moment.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.